And welcome back to the third and final part of our transmission here today from the Lydden circuit, and will join us for the start of the finals. We start in the G final. These are the drivers who've, for probably reasons we don't know, been the slowest during qualifying, and got to try and battle out now. And the winner of this one obviously will go back to the back row of the F final, and pulling well clear is number 33, Norman Allchin. Norman Allchin come from Maidstone, coming away with a very smart little Metro. Norman, who more or less restricts himself to competing down here at Lydden and perhaps one or two of the other local circuits, Brands, maybe Swindon, leads away. Second spot there, I can see 108, Mike Howe. Mike Howe in second spot. Mike Howe being challenged for that position, but still retaining it as the Metro comes away. Mitsubishi there in second spot of Mike Howe. But there's Norman Allchin down into round paddock bend for the first time. Still Mike Howe there in second spot from Canterbury. Third place looks as though it might be Phil Surridge, another 8-port Metro and another relative newcomer to the sport. Getting quite a bit of good practical assistance in his rallycrossing career at the early days, because mechanic there with Phil Surridge is a lad who's been involved quite a lot in the past with former European champion Seppo Nidimäki, so certainly a good preparation there for that car, and the car looking pretty good. Chris Dark in fourth place with the Sunbeam from down at Frome in Somerset. One of a number of Sunbeams that we've had. I think 3 Sunbeams going here today, including Barry Denny from Bury St Edmunds, who's made his rallycross debut here at this particular event. But there is Norman Allchin. Norman, if he wins this one, of course, as I said, will go on to the back of the F final, and he looks quite comfortable there as he comes away through the chicane. Still Mike Howe, car formerly used by Des Howe, there in second spot. Duncan Christmas I can go see going through there, number 124. But what an appropriate name for the driver at this time of year. Duncan Christmas from Lydden boys in Essex. And there is Duncan, I think, down at the tail end of the field, or has he already pulled off? No, I think he's still going out there somewhere. But up front, the winners, or the leaders, margin being really whittled down now as Mike Howe comes in to have a look. Phil Surridge going with him, and certainly Norman Allchin's lead doesn't look quite as comfortable as it had earlier on during this particular race. Out of the top of the North Bend hairpin, accelerating down Hairy Hill into paddock, if anything, pulling back a bit of extra safety up front. Remember, the drivers, of course, not racing against the clock here, as 157 exits stage left. That indeed is Steve Lindsay, former circuit racing driver, another one of the many newcomers here at Lydden this afternoon. But the battle for the lead getting quite close now, and Mike Howe coming in to have a very close look. Phil Surridge not that far away either. 3 of them going very, very close together as they come off Chessons. As I said, not racing against the clock, that doesn't matter anymore. Time is of no consequence, it's just a question of being first to the flag, and first to the flag there was indeed Norman Allchin. So he goes on to the back of the F final. And indeed, cars for the F final coming up. And there indeed is a driver who has been having quite a few problems so far this afternoon with that particular car. That's the 4x4 turbo Mazda of Terry Briggs. But Terry making a pretty good start, but it's the Irishman Ernie Nabney in the yellow Fiesta going away to challenge for the lead. Terry Briggs coming up very, very strongly indeed. Andy Grant is the early leader though, 134. In there also is Colin Potter, 134 Colin Potter there. But the leader is indeed down into and round the Devil's Elbow, and it's the Irishman from Crawley in Sussex, Ernie Nabney. Ernie Nabney coming away, driving the ex-Dave Ling Andy Sadler car, garage proprietor, but we can see behind him coming up very fast indeed now Terry Briggs. Terry coming up very strongly. This should be the car that wins this race. 400 plus brake horsepower available to Terry Briggs when the Mazda's working properly, which hasn't been too often of late, I must admit. It's been a somewhat troublesome motor car for Terry Briggs, but Terry coming away, very popular guy, this man. And I think just about everybody here at Lydden Hill this afternoon wants to see this car work. Pretty little motor car, again using the Xtrac transmission. 4x4, of course, turbocharged. And another car that is the shape of the future, one would think, in British Rallycross. The only 4x4 Mazda that I know of in European Rallycross at the moment, that of Terry Briggs. And Terry pulling well clear there now. They've been having all manner of problems with the turbocharging on this car. And I think Terry's confidence has been shaking quite a bit, but a good race here will help restore that, get a bit of confidence both in himself and his car. And here it is coming down, round Paddock Bend, through the chicane, away down to Chessons. Out of Chessons, totally unchallenged now. Close look at the tyres there, a bit of vapour coming from the rear wheel arch of the car, but it's certainly not a tyre rubbing on the bodywork. Just about to tell you a very close look at the Husia tyres that Terry is using on this car. Him and Warwick Barnes, the two drivers to be using those cars. He goes through to the E-final, and the E-final we now have with Neil Gillard from Plymouth sitting there on pole with the Mark II Escort, and Neil Gillard it is making a good start. Pete Maylum coming away quite strongly also there to challenge. Terry Briggs, as you can see, having won the previous final, coming up very, very strongly, going right round the outside of the pack to challenge for the lead. And Terry Briggs it is, away in the lead. Terry looking for another result here, and as we said earlier, if any of the drivers have had a really disastrous qualifying session, then this format that we have here at Lydden gives just about everybody a second bite at the cherry, a chance to come through and have a crack at getting into the all-important A final by making your way through the finals. And in fact, I think a couple ago, it was Dimi Mavropoulos who did something very similar in the Audi Quattro Sport. Disastrous qualifying, only made one of the low finals and then virtually went right through the order. I'm not saying that's the sort of thing that we want, to have a predictable winner in every race, but a somewhat predictable winner here, I think, perhaps coming in the shape of Terry Briggs. Mike Manning in second place, Pete Maylum disturbing the cones there in third, being chased by young Jason Stone in the yellow-blue Fiesta. Very promising young lad, Jason Stone. And there's Chris McBean and another John Cross autocross prepared car there just behind him. But there is our race leader, Terry Briggs. Terry Briggs very comfortably ahead now of the Welshman, Mike Manning, and what a good scrap going on there for fourth. And we can see there Chris McBean coming in to have a very close look at the Mark II Escort and the Fiesta as they go challenging up into the North Bend hairpin, but it's the Mike Manning car that's some way clear of them. But the leader in every sense is 333. Terry Briggs then, well clear now of Mike Manning. Mike likewise some way ahead of the back for third place now between Peter Maylum. The smoke from the exhaust there of the Terry Briggs car as it comes through Chestnut Drift. Still 320. Mike Manning from Carmarthen, Southern Wales there in third spot. You can see it's Jason Stone looking for third place. Jason looked as if he'd got through there on Chestnut. There's the race leader, Terry Briggs. Terry looking to take this car from here up, of course, into the D final. Rest of the order going through. Ken Hoare's Golf. There comes Terry Briggs down Harry Hill. Conserving the car, one would think now, would be pushing this car no harder than he has to, knowing that it's got quite a lot of racing to come probably if it can proceed its way through the race. But take a look at that front wheel, the offside front wheel really wobbling there on Terry Briggs's car. And it look, oh, he's lost it. Yes, he's lost the front wheel. It's taken the wheel arch with it, and he's down on the brake disc going round. Oh dear, oh dear. Well, it looks as though Terry Briggs has probably overcome the engine problems with the car, but it looks as though perhaps the wheel studs had sheared on it, and it's not to be. And so going through to take victory there.